Happy Monday, guys. Hope you guys are having a good start to your week here. But with the start of the week, that means we end up getting new information about what's upcoming for the next 7 days within Warzone, Cold War, and Modern Warfare as well. So today we got a little bit of a blog detailing everything to expect, and that's what we're going to be going over here in this video. So as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to anything in particular this week across any of the main titles of Call of Duty? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know. As well, if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. And we're on the road to 400,000 subscribers, so we'll keep it this day with absolutely all you need to know. If you guys are interested in joining the community, I'd love to have you. And finally, make sure you check out Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market. Link in the description below. That said, let's jump into the week at hand. When it comes to the blog post this week, the leadoff is kind of strange because it mentions with a new mid-season update on the horizon, players should keep an eye out for upcoming content previews this week, courtesy of Treyarch. Now, what I don't get is that it sounds like we're not getting the update just yet, and instead, likely a week later, as of next week perhaps, with other signs like the subheader of this blog for the week stating a new special weapon arrives in Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, Call of Duty League kicks off Stage 2, Week 2, and the Call of Duty Endowment Challenger Pack is back. So, unfortunately, pending no surprise reveal here or no surprise drop, which normally we'd end up knowing about these things on a Monday, pending no surprise reveal, it seems like we're back to anything that makes sense in COD. You can kind of expect the opposite here, which is quite the bummer if you ask me. Now, do I expect a surprise drop of the mid-season update? Not quite, because while recording this video, Treyarch actually dropped another teaser for Outbreak stating, next week, new mysteries of the Dark Ether await, #zombies, with again, the sort of teleporting gif on what appears to be Sanatorium. As we mentioned, that's the next step for Outbreak's Fireteam takeover, kind of, just bringing all of the maps for Fireteam now into the fold for Outbreak. So I was quite looking forward to seeing some new content introduced across the games, but alas, it doesn't seem like that's going to be this week, instead as of next. But what we do know for this week in terms of what is coming, firstly, is that R1 Shadowhunter. First and foremost, one of the big things that they're being promoting again this week is that new special weapon. Now, if it seems weird, and it definitely should be, it's kind of the re-release already, because this was relocked and hidden on all fronts for Warzone and Cold War. It was available as of this last week's update that allowed it to be unlockable via in-game challenge, and in Warzone saw the bundle introduced as well. So you could have access to it, but you no longer do. I meant to get around to covering it this weekend, but ended up taking the weekend off, which I didn't see coming, but ended up happening. To recap though, it was removed from all focal points of the game, like the shop and that in-game challenge, but also refunds were given to those that had purchased the bundle, and the weapon itself was actually relocked. What does provide some nice clarity here for this though is the Trello board for once actually has a really nice detailed breakdown of what to expect, in which it states players who previously unlocked the R1 Shadowhunter will be placed at 14 out of 15 match completions due to technical limitations with player inventories. This compromise will allow us to adjust inventories appropriately and establish a path of least resistance to obtain the R1 Shadowhunter when it's ready to release at a later date. Now detailed as of this week, but also players who began the unlock process but did not obtain the R1 Shadowhunter will retain their previous challenge progress. So truthfully, I think this is kind of a solid compromise here, because initially it was going to be a fresh restart all the way around, so you'd start back at 0 out of 15. And players who completed the 15 matches, not backing out each time, that's a lot of time to be lost. So when it comes down to it, relocking the weapon, I'm no game engineer, but logically it makes sense that there'd need to be at least one challenge completion for it to register that it is done. Otherwise, I'd imagine there's some bugs that pop up that would just give it to everybody, which I personally wouldn't be against, but kind of defeats the purpose of having an in-game challenge for it. But also what's nice though is that if you didn't complete it, your progress should be right where you picked up. So instead of starting at 0 again, if you had 7 out of 15 done, you'll do another one and you'll be at 8 out of 15. So nice that over the last 24 to 48 hours, that was changed a little bit instead of just restarting everybody. But outside of that, we also see that Gun Game is going to be returning, as mentioned by this blog post. I'm curious though to see if we see the surprise introduction of Miami Strike, given that that was mentioned it was being taken out of the playlist rotation so that it could add in new props and new maps like Satellite and Miami Strike. But I'm also curious if this is held off until the mid-season update, because I'm partially leaning towards the latter of those options, because I don't believe it's actually in the game files right now. We need a title update to add Miami Strike into the equation, so that might be something that Prop Hunt comes back, but then as of next week, we do get a new introduction as well in terms of new maps. Later this week, though, we'll end up also seeing a new double XP event in which it's a rare triple double type of deal. Starting on the 26th, we'll end up seeing the double XP, double weapon XP, and double battle pass progression take hold. So if you have any free time this week and want to make any additional strides towards your seasonal completion, your level, or your weapon ranks, this is a great time to do so. This will also be going for the full weekend until the 29th, likely at 10 a.m. Pacific time, though it wasn't specified explicitly. They just end up normally ending at that time. But what's also interesting is that PlayStation users get an additional 24 hours ahead of schedule here for this as part of that smaller PlayStation exclusive signed off on for the year, with those PlayStation 4 and 5 users getting the ability to start on the 25th for them. Now, unfortunately, the only other stuff here really detailed in this week for the blog is the items coming to the shop. The first one I want to talk about, though, is actually something I can get behind. It's the reintroduction of the Challenger Pack, which goes entirely to the Call of Duty endowment. For $10 of real currency, not COD points, not only one are you making a $10 donation to the Call of Duty endowment, which is a non-profit charity that helps put veterans back into the workforce once returning home from their deployments, but you also end up getting a blueprint for the M16 and the 1911, along with a few other smaller items and a double XP token that goes along with it. Most shop bundles that come through the shop, honestly, I don't care all that much for, but when I saw this thing first, it was around, I think, like a week or two after the launch of Cold War. I ended up purchasing it since, again, all proceeds do go towards the endowment and the charity there. It's not a bad camo design for the weapons, and both are decent weapons at their base. It's just also nice that, again, all proceeds go to the veterans. What is interesting, though, is that it seems like this is also popping up in the store, even if you ended up buying it again. I actually do have the ability to see this again, even though I own the pack already. So if you're wondering why that's there and you may have already purchased it, that's why. Also introduced, not for this week, but as of yesterday, a slight recap again, we ended up seeing the Necro King Mastercraft bundle with the Ice Drake Krig, the Cold Spear M60, the Dragonstone Charm, the Dead Sled vehicle skin, the Frozen Waste calling card, the Necro King emblem, the Necromancer watch, and the Climactic Horn for 2,400 COD points. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm torn on this one because I personally don't care if a game is realistic or not. I know that's a big selling point for some people, but personally, I'm just there with it. I go with the flow. But I think the unique inspect animation on the Ice Drake Krig is so wild and outlandish that it's just kind of hilarious to me. I like it because it's that crazy. But then on the other hand, it's the Krig. So it's a weapon that I absolutely think is solid in Cold War, but is a weapon I wouldn't touch in Warzone, where I spend a lot of my time currently. The additional bummer to me is that I'd change a lot of those attachments if I were playing in Warzone, so I'd likely lose out on that inspect animation and other cool features of it. Though again, in Cold War, it's actually a solid build. But when it comes to Warzone, rear grips are still bugged, speed mags take too much of a penalty in your ADS speed, and then I'd swap out the SOCOM Eliminator for the Agency Suppressor. So I'd lose out on about half of those custom attachments as well. So hit or miss here with that one. But if you do find this bundle or others coming this week at all interesting and you'd like to pick them up, and also you'd like to support the channel a little further like Mike, Jack, Michael, and Ralph have, you can use code Espresso in the support a creator category of the shop. As always, it's entirely optional and by no means do you need to, but if you'd like to support the channel further and you do end up doing so, tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support in upcoming videos. But as for this upcoming week, we do have the reintroduction again and the properly timed release of the R1 Shadowhunter, which means the Archaic Range bundle is coming back, but actually for real this time, with the Lancehead R1 Shadowhunter blueprint, the Stolen Idol charm, the Medieval Archer emblem, and the Old Time Sniper sticker for 1,200 COD points. Then we have also coming as of this Saturday, the Tracer Pack Rosé bundle for 2,000 COD points, which comes along with the XOXO Love Lost Reactive Milano blueprints, the Broken Heart AK-47, the Drop Dead charm, the Heartbreaker anime-themed tank skin, and then the Lonely Valentine emblem. So more reactives, and I actually think this completes all of the reactives that we have in the game files as of right now currently for Cold War and Warzone, but more will likely be introduced as of next week's mid-season update, with a new title update introducing a lot of things behind the scenes. But aside for the next week of competition of Cold War and the CDL, as well as a new season for COD Mobile, that's all that we know about right now for Cold War and Warzone as of this upcoming week. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. Just wanted to fill you guys in and let you know what you should be aware of as of the next 7 days here. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to anything coming as of this week within Cold War, Warzone, or potentially Modern Warfare? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed the video though. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. We'll keep you up to date with all of it. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get camp outside of YouTube. Probably live on both those. If you guys want to strike a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is MidSeason. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.